Donc, tu étais supposé de te joindre à nous il y a quelques mois, mais c'est le drama divin. Et elle nous joint depuis la Suisse. Donc, elle a établi des centres en Suisse, au Chili. Elle est une de nos représentantes à Genève. Depuis 2009, elle fait des conférences. Donc, elle élève la conscience du monde sur la conscience d'être en dernier, une chose importante, elle a produit plusieurs programmes radio sur le thème de la paix et aussi la conscience spirituelle. Elle a fait beaucoup de commentaires de méditation et de conférences. Et avant que avant qu'elle puisse commencer, je vais la présenter avec un poème. Elle a contribué à servir le sol de la Suisse. Elle a fait des Alpes pittoresques une terre fertile sur le plan spirituel. Tous les obstacles difficiles, elle est capable de les surmonter parce qu'elle est le bras droit de l'âme suprême, utilisant le savoir de Baba comme une baguette puissante, une baguette magique puissante. Elle est capable de créer un groupe spirituel local. Elle aide à convertir les âmes en métal précieux ou à partir d'un simple sable, en diamant probablement, parce qu'elle a gardé le pouvoir divin à ses côtés comme un soutien. Enfin, elle est l'un des joyaux les plus fins qui est vraiment très grand parce que les méditations servir la nature sont sa marque de commerce ou de fabrique. Alors, merci beaucoup. C'était une très belle présentation. Je vous parle de la France, qui est près de la Suisse. Et merci pour ce beau thème du guide. C'est un grand honneur pour moi et un plaisir de réfléchir sur ce thème. Ce que je me suis demandé, en fait, pour vous parler, je me disais, qu'est-ce qui nous guide dans la vie? Parce que je pense que le processus d'être guidé et de comprendre ce qui nous guide est très lié, est très important parce que plus nous savons ce qui nous guide ou ce que nous choisissons, donc peut-être nous pouvons choisir de nous faire guider différemment. Donc, c'est la formation que j'ai eue dans ma famille, la formation que nous avons eue avec les gens qui marchent avec nous et aussi la société dans laquelle nous vivons. Et vous pourriez dire aussi que ces trois choses ont des valeurs, sont importantes pour vous. Alors, ces valeurs, c'est comment vous avez la tendance à vous guider vous-même. Je pense que c'est très important de reconnaître cela parce que vous êtes l'être, l'âme, la conscience. Et à moins que nous reconnaissions les choses qui nous guide encore, oui, nous ne serons pas capables de changer ces choses. Et il y a des choses qui pourraient être bonnes, mais lorsque je commence à me comprendre spirituellement, soudainement, je peux voir la différence entre ce qui est une compréhension illimitée, une compréhension limitée et une compréhension spirituelle. Ensuite, j'ai pensé que ce qui est important à reconnaître, c'est que chacun de nous a des principes très, très profonds dans nos racines, avec lesquels nous voulons vivre, que ce soit l'honnêteté ou la charité ou la générosité. Ce n'est pas seulement une valeur, mais ce sont des principes qui nous guident et ce sont des principes avec lesquels je veux vivre. Donc, ces principes dans les valeurs ont une tendance à nous guider dans nos choix, dans notre profession, dans la façon dont nous parlons aux autres. Ensuite, une chose très importante, c'est l'éducation. Parce que la personne qui a eu une éducation d'être un avocat ou un chimiste ou d'être un cuisinier va avoir différentes activités en compréhension pratique qui vont lui être données. Alors, si vous voulez aider les gens qui ne sont pas très enclins, une chose qui nous guide, peut-être que nous ne voulons peut-être pas toujours être guidés, c'est la compagnie que nous maintenons. Parce qu'au niveau des pensées, par exemple, si je passe beaucoup de temps à la TV ou beaucoup de temps avec certaines personnes ou que vous vous exposez aux nouvelles ou que vous soyez exposé à une certaine sorte de sport, ce que vous faites, c'est que vous commencez à élaborer vos pensées de cette façon et ces patterns, ce processus va être reproduit et cela va aussi vous influencer. Alors, je vais vous guider et peut-être vous rendre conscient de l'importance de porter attention, par exemple. Ensuite, ce qui est très subtil et très important, c'est que notre propre compagnie nous guide aussi. Cela veut dire que nous créons certaines sortes de pensées, nous créons des sentiments et des émotions et cela va colorer la façon que je suis, la façon que je réagis et la façon que j'agis, la façon que je ressens. Alors, c'est tellement important de voir à l'intérieur de moi-même quelle sorte de compagnie est-ce que je garde. Je vais vous donner un exemple. Il y a des gens qui ont une tendance à être tout est très qui se jugent beaucoup, ils vont se sentir coupables. Ces sortes de pensées vont avoir une influence. Et si je ne porte pas attention, je vais vraiment produire ces sortes de compagnie, cette sorte de compagnie intérieure. Ensuite, Une autre chose importante, c'est que mon propre karma aussi me guide. Vous savez, c'est même des actions très simples. Par exemple, si je suis un cuisinier, j'aime cuisiner et je vais commencer à penser qu'est-ce que je veux cuisiner? Qu'est-ce que les gens vont manger ce soir? Qu'est-ce que j'ai besoin d'acheter? Est-ce que j'ai assez de tel ou tel ingrédient? Donc, dans ce que vous faites, vous guide aussi pour vos propres pensées, votre propre vie. Et je prends l'exemple de cuisiner parce que c'est une tâche qui est vraiment quotidienne. Mais vous pourriez imaginer que si vous avez cette habitude d'écrire, vos pensées vont aller dans cette direction, etc. Donc, ce que nous appelons aussi nos propres sanskars, aussi ont une compagnie subtile, une certaine. Par exemple, si j'ai ce sanskar de me plaindre, donc se plaindre, ce n'est pas une expérience plaisante, mais les gens qui commencent à se plaindre sont très souvent, ils se trouvent très souvent dans une position de se plaindre encore et encore. Et si vous leur dites, ils ne sont peut-être pas conscients, mais je pense que les choses que je viens de vous mentionner sont très importantes, même si vous avez une vie spirituelle, parce que c'est vraiment ancré en dedans de nous, profondément. Donc, nous voulons nous voulons avoir la clarté. Il est très important pour nous d'avoir la clarté à propos des des chaînes de pensée que nous avons à l'intérieur. Ensuite, je pensais que les gens qui sont qui sont dans ce cours, donc comme nous, par exemple, ils recherchent un guide qui est pur, les gens qui vivent une vie spirituelle. En fait, ils veulent trouver un chemin vers quelque chose de meilleur, d'acquisition spirituelle. Ils veulent avoir des sentiments complets. Ils veulent se sentir bien à l'intérieur. Je pense que nous devons avoir ce guide pur, cette guidance pure dans notre intellect. Mais je dois me demander qu'est-ce que je garde comme compagnie à l'intérieur de moi. Nous devons vraiment comprendre et y penser. La première compagnie qui est pure, que je me souviens bien sûr, c'est notre soi intérieur qui est pur. Et c'est un, un- un très bel enseignement du Raja Yoga que chaque personne, chaque individu, en fait, est une âme. C'est un petit mot. L'âme, c'est un petit mot, mais c'est immense parce que l'âme est éternelle et l'âme est illimitée. Lorsque je commence à comprendre que c'est ce que je suis, je peux aussi accéder à l'intérieur de moi à cette cette conscience du soi. Et assurez-vous, quand vous parlez du karma, assurez-vous de ce qui vous fait avancer et dans quelle conscience est-ce que je me déplace. Parce que ce sera aussi différent, le but sera différent. Deuxièmement, je pense que c'est très important lorsque quelqu'un veut expérimenter une guidance pure, d'avoir le bénéfice, de vraiment de prendre bénéfice de la méditation parce que lorsque nous prenons du temps, nous passons du temps avec nous-mêmes en méditation. Lorsque nous nous souvenons de cette essence pure, c'est aussi de la méditation. Lorsque nous nous souvenons quand, que nous sommes amour, non pas seulement m'en souvenir, mais commencer à l'expérimenter, que c'est vraiment ce que je suis. Cette expérience a un impact très, très puissant, important sur le soi. Et c'est aussi très bénéfique. Et aussi très bénéfique parce que c'est comme, je pense que si vous le comparez avec l'eau, par exemple, votre corps est fait de 90% d'eau. Il y a de l'eau l'eau est essentielle pour le corps. Donc, l'être spirituel que nous sommes, en fait, est fait d'une essence très pure, une essence spirituelle très, très pure. C'est fait de paix, de beauté, c'est fait de félicité. C'est une telle réalité qui est à l'intérieur de chacun de nous. Alors, la méditation, c'est le chemin, la façon de rendre vivant, de rendre la conscience vivante. Et lorsque nous devenons vrais et que nous devenons expérimenter, ça fait une telle différence. C'est si bénéfique pour le soi. D'une façon, je parlais de la méditation. La méditation, je vous ai dit ce qu'était la méditation, mais aussi je vous disais de passer du temps avec le soi pur, ce que je suis. Une des choses très importantes dans le Raja Yoga, que je suis certaine que vous êtes conscient, Raja veut dire roi. Une guidance importante, très importante, c'est la souveraineté du soi. Ça me rappelle qui je suis. En fait, je suis le roi de tout ce qui est autour de moi, le corps, les relations, le passé, le présent, le futur, les connexions, les interactions, le karma. Donc, ça a un impact multiple sur tout. Quelquefois, nos meilleurs enseignements disent, vous devez vous asseoir sur le siège de votre souveraineté du soi. Cela veut dire que je dois être conscient que c'est qui je suis, ce que je suis et c'est de la façon que je suis. Et cette conscience, quelquefois, nous devons y mettre des efforts, mais avoir une attention consciente, une honnêteté consciente, une présence consciente. Et dans un sens, la souveraineté du soi, ça veut dire que nous avons le choix, nous devons choisir d'être le souverain de soi. ce qui arrive, c'est là que l'importance, de là l'importance de l'honnêteté. Je ne suis pas éveillée, conscient et attentif lorsque je glisse dans les anciennes habitudes. Comme je parlais au début de ma conversation avec vous, si vous glissez dans l'être gouverné par les relations que vous avez, les gens, avec vos propres pensées, alors vous ne pouvez pas être un souverain du soi. Et vous n'acquérez pas tous les bénéfices que vous auriez pu avoir en restant en étant souverain du soi. Une autre importance, c'est l'importance de la conscience pure, la conscience, excusez-moi, de la conscience de la connaissance pure spirituelle, d'avoir une pure sagesse. Si je garde dans mon intellect éveillé ce qui arrive, je vais réaliser et je devrais être capable de faire un shift, de changer. Je vais voir et je vais être capable de changer. Et je pense que la connaissance et la sagesse spirituelle, c'est aussi comme lorsque vous dessinez, lorsque vous êtes un enfant, vous pouvez suivre les détails de ce qui est déjà fait. Mais si vous acceptez de prendre la connaissance spirituelle, la sagesse spirituelle, vous devez focuser sur la couleur que vous voulez y mettre. Mais si la page est blanche, c'est un bon sentiment, mais dans le sens que vous allez commencer à vous demander qu'est-ce que je devrais ajouter, est-ce que je devrais faire ceci, est-ce que je devrais peindre de telle façon ou telle façon. Il y a toutes sortes d'activités. Mais lorsque vous sentez que tout est clair, tout est là et que vous avez juste à mettre la couleur, les couleurs des vertus, du silence, c'est une très belle chose à expérimenter. Alors, je dois vraiment me guider moi-même à m'apporter du bénéfice. Un des noms pour Dieu, c'est Shiva, et cela veut dire bienfaiteur. Lorsque vous apprenez, nous voulons vraiment ça veut dire vraiment être bienveillant, c'est de vouloir le meilleur pour chacun, pour la planète, pour le futur. Vous êtes dans un tel niveau de bienveillance et je pense que la sagesse, c'est le guide pour que ceci arrive. Ensuite, ce que je pensais, le meilleur guide de tous, c'est le guide le plus pur et l'âme suprême. Et c'est ce qu'il y a, ce qui est le plus pur de tout. Et c'est aussi quelque chose qui demande de la sagesse parce que beaucoup de gens Il y en a qui ont peur de Dieu à l'Ouest, ils ne veulent pas faire face à Dieu ou ne connaissent d'autres connaissent mal Dieu. Donc, tout le concept de Dieu est très important. En fait, c'est essentiel. C'est essentiel de vraiment d'être capable de comprendre cette nature pure, bienveillante. Et j'ai trouvé que l'âme est toujours, toujours, toujours pure. Cela veut dire qu'il n'y a aucune corruption, aucune noirceur dans l'âme suprême. Il n'y a aucun doute. Et plus je suis capable de m'emplir ou de ressentir que je suis dans un espace où je peux expérimenter cet être merveilleux, je vais aussi, par contagion,
तो मैं contagious भी हो सकती हूँ, like हमें मेरे से
Contagious means that
contagieux. Cela veut dire que
catch a cold.
Si vous avez un rhume, par exemple, l'autre peut l'attraper.
Mais on t'entend en français là. Je ne sais pas
Eu
ce qui
estou
s'est
agora
passé.
a ouvir várias traduções ao mesmo tempo, em simultâneo.
Brother Manoj, I think all the translators coming on.
I'm so sorry. There is some technical problem, I think, because all the translators are heard suddenly.
Shall we stop for a moment to reflect?
I think we'll just stop for a moment. Yeah. Sister Anu, are you there? You want to just see what's the...
Yeah, I'm just checking, so it'll be okay right now.
Says em Hindi, English.
Okay. It should work now. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, you can carry on. Sorry.
It's fine. It's no problem. I'm often a translator, so I really feel for my brothers and sisters who are translating. So, merci beaucoup, muito obrigado, muchas gracias for your work. So, okay, for me, when you cannot think about the topic of guidance without thinking of God as the guide, God as the supreme guru. And of course, I mean, now that I'm saying guru, it's a word that's a Hindi word. Maybe it's something I should have spoken about at the beginning, but maybe we'll come back on it later. So God is completely pure. So what does that mean? For me, it means that he's like an ocean, endless ocean of love. But not only is the soul a complete ocean of love, but I can experience this absolute, continuous, unending, wonderful love. But also the love that I experience in God when I'm sitting contemplating in meditation, the love that is there, it will awaken in me and re-strengthen in me, empower in me my own power of love. So that's what I was saying just before we started having all languages. It's contagious because it's completely, it's a complete connection. You know, how could I tell you that the image that comes to me is that, you know, if you are with a being that is so loving and you're experiencing this love, your heart becomes full and you are becoming aware of your own nature of love. And it just is flowing out of you completely naturally, at least for the time of the meditation. And so this nature of God is an amazing nature. So meditation in that sense means exposing myself to the different virtues of God, of the Supreme Soul, and really letting this energy penetrate me. And the amazing reality of this completely pure energy is that it will also cleanse you. It's a purifying energy, like fire. You know, you whatever has to be burnt in that connection, through that connection, will be burnt away. So this is really something so essential, to be exposing myself to his pure presence. And there are many attributes or virtues you can think about. The essential ones for me are purity, of course, love, light, absolute peace. There's not a corner, there's not a single thought in God's mind that's not peaceful. And again, as a human being, we are constantly exposed to peacelessness. We are constantly exposed to limits. So meeting only one being that's unlimited is something that is so healthy and so empowering. One other quality that I find essential is beauty. God is ever beautiful, ever beautiful. And this quality of beauty also allows you to be so grateful and to allow beauty to become like your main dharma, your main principle when you go into action and relationships afterwards. And then earlier on, I was speaking about, how the company of my thoughts guide me. And they're constantly there, and they're almost invisible. We think about 60,000 to 100,000 thoughts a day. So you can imagine the quantity of thoughts that you have in just a minute is amazing. But when you learn the art of meditating, you enter a realm where the level of your thoughts become so healthy, so pure, so much of a good quality, so much of truthful. And this is something that is really not only enjoyable, but such a deep, deep learning for the soul. And then one of the things that is important is that we are beings that need company, some more than others, but I think those people who have very close connection with the Supreme Being have the capacity of having their inner conversation, because that's one of the things that is happening with us human beings. Even if we're not in this pure guidance, we are keeping a constant conversation. We are really chatterboxes, talking to ourselves, to the color of the clothes this person is wearing, the time it is now. It's like we are constant actors. And learning to keep the company of such a pure being makes whatever is not pure quality irrelevant. So if it has become irrelevant, you're not going to talk about it, with this being. So having the art of keeping company, the company of this most beautiful soul, means that your standards, your inner standards of conversations, are also going to rise to a level of purity and depth that is unique. So this natural company allows you very naturally to go beyond the influence of all things that you have been experiencing as a person who's been suffering, who's been in turmoil, who's been exposed to negativity, to injustice. All these things are like gravitation. They pull you back and they pull you down. But the more you learn the art of experiencing this beautiful energy and have and keep this beautiful company, the more it will help you lift yourself up from the pain of doubting, from the pain of lack of self-esteem. Naturally, you will be first able to identify it, so to have awareness of what's happening. And then you'll also be able to create inside of you spaces of no shadow, spaces of light. And also, one of the important things to consider is that one of the great quality of the Supreme Soul is that he is karmatit, meaning we are people of karma. We've accomplished many actions. We've been brought up in the world of action. And we have accomplished many actions that were quite limited or quite not so positive, that were the result of bad habits, of limited education. But when you start having this connection with the Supreme Soul, this soul is completely karmatic. So having never been exposed to this, you naturally in your conversations will not have him exposed to it. I'll give you an example. If you're talking with a little child, you're not going to talk about the complexity of economic difficulties that you have in your life, because the little child is completely beyond that. You will have no understanding about this. Equally, if you talk, like I speak very little Hindi, so forget about me speaking to you in Hindi about the complexity of the UN and climate change, because I don't have the language. I just don't have the language. So I will not be able to go there. But equally, if I'm talking with someone who doesn't have that knowledge, even in French or English, which are natural languages to me, I will not be able to, I will naturally keep it as deep and at the same time simple language as I can. So likewise, if you talk with the Supreme Soul naturally and constantly, you will learn the art of thinking and speaking positively. And not positively like the glass is half full or, oh, you should never say bad words. No, positively in the sense that you will look for the outcome, you look for the solution, you look for the way out, you look for the learning process in whatever happens. And then also, I find one very important thing that the company of the Supreme Soul gives you in terms of guidance is that this soul naturally lives in a space of silence, in a space of light. We in the Brahma Kumaris often call this realm Paramdam, or the soul world, or the world of silence, nirvana, beyond sound. So having the possibility of going beyond sound brings memories that are deeply ingrained in the soul and that are original to the soul, which are the memories of my inner stage of silence. And this is so important because this is something all souls share. You know, we are all different and we are all equal. This is a paradox, a very sweet one. But in terms of experiencing the soul world, the nirvana, we are all equal. We were all being exposed to this, our home. And so I think that it is so important to the gift of the company of God. And then one of the other things that I find is that, you know, the guide is the guru. The kind of guidance the Supreme Soul gives is very, very sweet, very, very respectful. And it is not something that's going to be overpowering you. And that's also the very important contrast with human gurus. Human gurus have a tendency to impress, have a tendency to make you feel less, to, sorry, somebody's trying to call me, I'm going to just hang up. So I think that this is also something wonderful that we can learn from the Supreme Soul, the art of actually being with the most beautiful soul of all. So I don't know how you want to do this, Brother Manoj. Do you want us to have some meditation now? And do you want us to have a bit of question and answer? Or would you like me to press the button and go on talking for a little while longer?
Yeah, so that's fine. Your time is up, actually. Sorry. I mean,
Okay.
the sense, yeah. So we'll take a few questions, just a couple of them, and then we'll go in the meditation mode at the end. Yeah, so a question was about when you go to the climate change conferences and even at Geneva, the UN, where you represent the Brahma Kumaris. So you go to an audience which is totally Western, very scientific minded. So how do you guide them to enter into spirituality, and how do you explain them the connection of that, how the internal turmoil which is created in the human being is directly responsible for the external turmoil outside? So can you just elaborate that? How do you guide?
Thank you for this very interesting question. First, you know, when you are at the UN, you're not supposed to convert anyone, right? So what's important is create very good relationships so that you can have deep conversations. So when you have deep conversations, you can actually then have deep exchanges of and share, and people want to hear what you think. Otherwise, at the UN, we also are organizing talks within the UN. We have the possibility of organizing what they call side events. And in these side events, you are encouraged to actually also invite other people from other organizations. You don't give talks like we did just now, you know, one person sitting for 45 minutes, just talking. at the UN, they think always in terms of expertise. So what expertise are you bringing? And in a sense, having knowledge is an expertise, but you have to share how this impacts. So for instance, I tell the story of yogic farming. I've also worked a lot trying to bring all the different religions working on climate change together. So then we can have very deep and colorful side events where we bring the different faiths together to share the impact of consciousness, lifestyle, habits onto the planet. And the UN is a place where everybody is very, very busy. So one of the work that is that we do is called advocacy. And to do advocacy, you also need to find ways to think deeply about the agenda of the UN, the agenda of the climate change, the political agenda. And you have to think how this is connected with spirituality and bring it together. So you really need to do homeworks to do that. You need to do your thinking homeworks with Baba. Did I answer your question, brother? Manush?
Yes, perfect. Yes, yes, you did answer the question. Thank you. So I'll just take the last question in the interest of time. A person is asking in the chat box that he has started meditation of late, maybe a few months. And the moment he sits to meditate, his thoughts, I mean, they just go wandering. So I am really fed up of this, and I just get up and start doing something else because my mind wanders more when I sit to meditate. So how do you guide him for a spiritual lifestyle?
Well, thank you for this very sincere question. I think that if you want to meditate, it's because you know it's good for you, right? And so you're getting frustrated because it's not that simple. You can't press on the button and then boom, meditation. So what you could do is prepare your meditations. It's like before you meditate, start thinking, why do I want to meditate? What would I want to obtain? Do I want to experience peace? Do I want to give peace? Do I want to experience the beauty of God? Do I want to understand my own self? So in that sense, you start the dialogue. Because as I was saying, we are having constant conversation, and your conversation seems to be, I don't like trying to meditate and my thoughts don't obey. So you go into the wrong track, because if the further you go into that track, the more frustrated and the more difficult it is going to be. So reverse, go back within, say, I really want to experience this, this and that, obtain this, understand this. So in that way, you're starting to tune in your mind in the right way and your heart in the right way. And so it will be easier, in my experience, to fly, to go there. And if you need to go make yourself coffee or a tea, do that.
Sure. Thank you. Very practical tips to make your meditation powerful. Thanks a lot. And now I would request, so our time is going fast. I'll request our seniors who are there with us, Dr. Ashok Mehta and Sister Claudia, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you both.
Didn't you want a meditation?
Yeah, sorry. So we'll have it at the end after they propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sister Valeriane. I have not had the privilege to meet you, but I enjoyed listening to your beautiful views on guidance, and especially the guidance from the Supreme. I think all of us are guided by only one, and that's the ultimate. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. We really enjoyed listening to your deeply, I would say, deeply thought about concepts of the guidance from the Supreme. Thank you very much. Very kind of you.
Very
Om
much
Shanti.
Ashwani.
Om Shanti. Good morning, Valerie. So it's yes. Also, I did not meet you. That I met you in Madhuban, but not personally. But it was a pleasure to hear you speaking today. And I think it was also very nice to when you explain about your work at UN. I like to thank you for representing us over there. And it's a very, I would say, not easy work. You have to be very careful what you are saying, doing. So I just like to thank you for being there for us. But also, I think that early morning hours, and we can get some guidance very easy from the Supreme Soul. That's why the very early morning hours is so important in our life. So when we start learning how to meditate and give ourselves to that early morning hours, always guidance comes from, and it's usually is very straightforward and it's help us so much in our life. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for all your guidance and points. So see you again.
Thank you very much, Claudia.
Thank you, both of you. And before we jump into the meditation with Sister Valeriane, let me just quickly do the announcements first. And Sister Anu, be ready for the photograph. As all of you know, we have been speaking a lot about the Guru. So we have these 4 relationships which I want you all to explore. We have actually covered the 3. I mean, we should be actually very honest with the Guru. Honesty is done. With the teacher, we should be disciplined. That has been covered already. With the Father, the Supreme Father, we should be obedient. We've already done that. And one remains is loyalty. So that's the next one. So loyalty usually is with the companion. We say the Sajan, the companion or the consort. So in Hindi, we also say Wafadari. Rather in Urdu, it's Wafadari. And we have a beautiful conversation with our 2 senior Rajogis. That's the next on the list, next weekend, Saturday. Sister Judy Johnson and Brother Bill Simo. Both of them shall be speaking on loyalty. And as always, the next, after that, the workshop, we have another new speaker with us, Sister Carolyn Fraud from Germany. Again, it will be on Saturday, 26th August, and we'll be sending you all the invitations soon. And as always, the next value, as I said, is on loyalty. And we usually complete the month, the last Sunday of the month. We'll be having the silence retreat as always on loyalty. And again, we are very pleased that it's the month of our senior Dadi Prakashmani, who had left the body on 25th of August. So it coincides very much with that. And today's episode, also today's workshop, sorry, also is dedicated to her. She was Dadi Kumarka. Kumarka in the sense youth, a youthful soul she was at heart, and that's the reason her name was that. So this is the elegant calendar we'll be sending you soon. If there are new participants, I would want to remind you all to send your email addresses and WhatsApp numbers so that we can send you these details. And that's our websites and the emails. Feel free to reach out. And all these are recorded on YouTube. You can find them, the workshops on this, omshanti.tk/workshops, and the episodes on the playlist as mentioned. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen now. And before we go into the meditation mode, usually people have, Sister Valeriane, they have a request that they want to be photographed with the speaker. So we'll just take a photograph with you. And then
I just wanted to say also that when I was in India, one of the first time in 86, I met Dadi Kumarka and I spent quite a bit of time with her. And I understood that it was a name that was given to her with a lot of love because she was a woman, a girl when she started, but she always was like a boy also, you know, not to her gender, but into the position of being a full heir with all rights. So I just was remembering her when you said that. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding.
And yeah, and also because today's 12th August is the International Youth Day. So we're having a lot of programs in India all over. It coincides with our workshop as well. The youth need guidance. So it coincides with that. And also Dadi's month. Yeah, so Sister Anu, over to you quickly for the photograph. Yeah.
Yes, everyone, please switch on your video. Still, if you are deciding, please, this is the time. This is the time. More cameras on? No? I got it. Thank you so much.
So we'll now go in the meditation mode and we'll just take silence. So you want some meditation music to be played, Sister?
I
Or...
like silence. Thank
Okay,
you
that's-
very much, Melissa. So I would like to invite all of you to sit comfortably and breathe in the very beautiful air that Mother Nature is creating for us. This is nectar in our bodies and lungs alive. And I feel so grateful. And now I become aware of the spirit that I am. This beautiful, sparkling light, a spark of awareness, unlimited and eternal. And I feel again so grateful for this incredible power and beauty and love that there is inside, embedded in my potential. It is always there. And in silence, I can allow this potential to come alive, to flourish. And my heart feels comfortable and happy about the experience and knowledge of who I am. And now in silence, this beautiful being that I am aware I am in potential directs her glance towards the Supreme Soul, the ever beautiful one, the ever generous, loving, peaceful one. And I open myself to the experience of this extremely pure, warm and embracing ocean of love and life. I am flowing in this ocean. I am being embraced by the rays of love. Embraced by the most beautiful being. And my heart is dancing. I feel that the quality of being a loving, constantly loving soul is becoming awake and natural in this moment. I am the companion of the most beautiful one. And my beauty is awakened. And whenever I want, I can go back to this amazing love of mine and spread this rays of love onto the trees and the leaves, the flowers and the fruits, the water, the rivers and the ocean, the birds. And I can feel this brushing paintbrush that God has given me, stroking the souls of my brothers and sisters, allowing them to be cleansed, pure, and free in their mind, even if only for a Om Shanti.
Thank you so much once again, Sister Valeriane, and also immense gratitude to all the facilitators, translators, and the recorders, and of course, all the online participants, without which the workshop wouldn't be possible. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for your attention, and thanks a lot for the invitation and this beautiful program to all the souls that make it possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.